What is going on, everyone? Welcome. It is Wednesday, 7 o'clock. We're live. Well, I'm live. Some of us didn't want to do a podcast tonight. I'm solo this evening, so Tyler is off doing other things. But I'm here, so we're going to make the best of it. I think I can land this plane by myself. We'll see what happens. It gives me the opportunity, however, to finally talk about something I've been wanting to talk about for a long time, and that is the internet mystery, the greatest internet mystery of, well, recent times anyway. Cicada 3301. I don't know if you've heard about this. A lot of people haven't. It's wild. Let's see here. I gotta fix a couple things. There we go. Okay. Solo, so we gotta make this work. All right. Cicada 3301, January 4th, 2012. Strange message appears on the internet. Just a few lines of text posted anonymously. And it read, and I quote, "Hello, we are looking for highly intelligent individuals. To find them, we have devised a test. There is a message hidden in this image. Find it, and it will lead you on the road to finding us. We look forward to meeting the few that will make it all the way through. Good luck, 3301. So obviously, at the first of this part of this is that no one knew what the hell was going on, other than, maybe a few. Many speculate it was a recruiting tool for the CIA or NSA or MI6 or even the Freemasons. But who was really behind it? We didn't really know. And what was the purpose? Did it even have a purpose? Was it just some creative person decided, hey, let's make a bunch of clues and see what happens? Well, it didn't really matter. People were going to do it anyway. Anytime you post something crazy on the internet like that, there's going to be some people that are going to partake. So what was the purpose? Who knows? Well, we will. The thing about this challenge was you had to be a relatively intelligent person. Like, I would have been 8 minutes in and said, I'm done. There's no way. But the people online love a good challenge, and they will certainly partake. The message was a puzzle open to anyone and everyone, and it was posted on 4chan. So people used, and the message itself was the clue. Now, mind you, this was just a message that popped up. It didn't give you any kind of context. So you had to be smart enough to put it together. So the people used all kinds of things to try to crack it, different ciphers, Photoshop even, and any other way they could think of. But when you open the message in a text editor, that's when things begin to make sense. At the end of the message, there was a chain of repeating characters and the name Tiberius Clavidius Caesar. I don't know what that means. But people who was much smarter than I figured out that they assumed they were using a Caesar cipher. A Caesar cipher works by shifting numbers of the alphabet a fixed number of places down or up. For example, 3 down, you would take the original letter of like A, and then you'd go down 3, and your A would become a D. It's a pretty basic cipher once you understand it, and it's one of the easiest ones that they use. And, it's kind of considered, it's not really considered secure, but it's easy to crack and generally used for basic introduction to like cryptology. Such is the case with the first puzzle. It used a 4 shift, which turned out to be, which basically when it was deciphered and decoded, it ended up being a URL. And when you put in this URL, it took you to another image. It was a picture of a duck with a message, whoops, quote, whoops, just decoys this way. Guess you couldn't figure out how to get the message out. This is the first time the players actually hit a wall, and opening this message in a text editor showed nothing. Turns out the image would contain 2 keywords that hints to how to get the message out. And the two words were guess and out. It indicated that you had to run an image through Outguessed, which is a small app used by steganography. I don't know how. But it would become a favorite tool for 3001. It's basically what it does. It's hiding a message, an image, or a file inside another message or image or file. You could take a picture and suddenly change the color value of certain pixels of this picture. And to you or I, just looking at the picture, we would never notice a difference. But if you knew that you were looking at something that was a little bit different, you would be able to figure it out. You'd be able to look at it and say, okay, that something's different, and you can be able to pick out what you're looking for. And of course, this just led to another clue, but by this time they used what they call a book cipher. Book ciphers are tough because you have to have the book to break the cipher, essentially. And without the book, it's very difficult. But Cicada 3301 knew how to give you just enough information to keep you hooked. And by this point, people were hooked. In the book cipher, each word pointed to a page or a series of text that could lead to a coordinate. For example, take the word apple. If apple is on page 42, line 5, word 3, you would replace it with 4253. So if you were looking to hide numbers or coordinates or any kind of numbers or anything like that, you would do it with a book cipher. Be a really good way to do it. So to decode the cipher, you need a book which could be found on Reddit. Now, they put a lot of stuff on Reddit, and they turned out to be one of their big tools. Now, you have to remember, they weren't just putting these messages out there. This was a very, very thought out, well executed. You needed all the messages. In the end, you would need just every kind of computer knowledge that you could use. Every kind of cipher was used. Computer programs they would end up writing, and it was very complex. So if you weren't a computer person or weren't really into this or invested in it, you would lose interest quickly, or you would just be stumped. So there's nothing random or odd about what these people were doing if you were playing the game. If you were just looking at it, yeah, you wouldn't understand. So there were several lines of text and 2 more images using Outguessed, and it gave us this message. From here on out, we will cryptologically sign all messages with this key. It is available on the MIT servers. Patience is a virtue. Good luck, 3301. This was important for the people playing the game because imposters were starting to pop up at this point. All kinds of people were claiming to be, Cicada 3301. And so it was getting very convoluted. Tursky, what's up, buddy? How you doing? Joe, I'm going to tell your story about the woods in a little bit, and we're going to talk about that because I have some questions. And you're the guy that's going to answer them. All right. Back to what I was doing. All right. So imposters were starting to pop up. So with this new encryption, the new messages could be authenticated. And there is a encryption. It's called PGP, which stands for Pretty Good Privacy. It is used for sending emails, files, and it's pretty simple how they do it. You have 2 keys. You create 2 keys. One of them is public and one of them is private. So you would send me a public message, and then I would extract that public message using my key. And that's how you would verify you were sending it to me, and only I could get it. So this message, once they got it, they opened it up, and it was another message using this method. And the key, and this message read, quote, "The key's right in front of your eyes. This isn't a quest for the Holy Grail. Stop making it more difficult than it is. Good luck, 3301." So the key was literally right in front of your eyes, because if you go to the homepage of Reddit, you would see there were several lines of text, and they were seemingly random, random characters, but they weren't. Once you encrypted them, you would see that you'd get the answer that you were looking for. So what they would use was called a Vigneer cipher. Very difficult to crack. However, they actually have computer systems or computer programs that will help you crack it. So you need very little information, but they take a lot of power. So you have to have a really good computer. And if you miss one letter or one character, you're just fucked, because now you have nothing. You have meaningless text. Every character relies on the next character. Very important. That's why most people use computers to figure them out, because human error will ruin everything that you've done up until this point. So they decoded this text, and it was for Thomas Bulfinch mythology. It was a book based on the tales of King Arthur looking for the Holy Grail. And when they cracked it, there was a phone number. Now, up until now, everything about this has been online. It has been the greatest internet mystery of the time. So, Best Damn Podcast, what's up, buddy? I got to get with you, man. I need to get you on so we can do some chatting. I was on a few weeks ago with those guys, and great dude. Good time. It was a great time. All right, so you call this. They give you a phone number. You call this number. It is 214-390-9608. Probably not good now. I don't know. Call it. See what happens. So the number is based in Austin, Texas. The code breaker thought they were finally going to learn who was behind this. Right? They finally thought, all right, we know where it's coming from. Now we just got to narrow it down. And when you call the message, of course, it's just another clue. And it's a long-winded message, so I'm not going to quote the whole thing. But it's basically about finding prime numbers. And, 3301 is a prime number. And so people were starting to go back through all the old messages. Now, the important thing to remember here is that they used every message. Every message was important. And you just didn't know why, where, or how you were going to need it. But you got to have them all. They didn't necessarily know this at the point at that time, but as they go back through over and over, they learn that you got to go back and look at some of the older messages. So they find the original message. It does not go on today. And it ended, the last message that they received from Cicada was in 2016. And there's a lot of speculation about why that is, whether or not it was just too difficult. Maybe they weren't getting the people that they were hoping, or maybe they found everybody that they needed and they didn't need to do anymore. It's not really clear, because no one ever really kind of figured it out, although there were people starting to come out after a while. After they made the phone call and they got the message, and they go back to the original message, and they're looking for prime numbers now. So 3301 is a prime number. 50. They look at they measured the original message was actually the key, but it wasn't the message itself. It was the size of the message. They actually measured the pixels up and down, wide and how tall they were. And it was 509 pixels wide and 503 pixels tall, both of which are prime numbers. Multiply these by 3301 and add a .com. That is how you're going to find the next message. So you get the answer to that, you put it in .com, and now you get a bunch of locations. 14 locations all over the world in 5 different countries. Up until now, this whole thing was just on the internet. Now it gets real. Now you're going to travel. Now, what this did was actually pretty smart, because what it did was not only weed out the people that weren't serious, but it also meant that you needed resources to do this. Like you had to travel, and you don't know where you have to travel. You just know you have to travel. So you need money to travel. You need to be smart enough to, figure these things out. And if you made it this far, you're probably kind of pretty smart. So you may be okay in that area, but you still got to have the resources. And you go to one of these, and they're at a fixed location, and they're all over the world. So you got to find the one that's closest to you. So I'm in Florida. My location, the closest to me, might be in Wyoming. So I got to get to Wyoming, and after that, I don't know what the next step is. So I got to be prepared to carry on. My next step might be go to Japan. I don't know. At this point, there's no way to tell. So that's, part of the problem that you got to have. You got to be, there's a level of commitment that you had to make this whole thing work. And now you realize it's a global organization. It's either a global organization or you have just a bunch of really smart people that are bored and and doing this. But once you show up to this location, there are posters. And there's a message on a poster, you take a picture and it leads you to more clues and more clues and more clues. And, the thing about it is you don't know what's on the other end of this. So let's say it's a government entity, right? Let's say it's the CIA or whatever. I think they made a fatal flaw in their judgment of people. So this whole thing goes for, I don't know how the actual length of time in 2014, but ultimately you hit the end of the road, and a couple of people made it. They believe a couple people made it, and then Cicada just goes quiet. And a year and 2 or 3 days, the next January, they come back, and they got a whole nother set. And now they got you doing all kinds of shit. Now they got you all over the place. And they bring it back. And they go through the whole thing again. And they got all kinds of clues. And, they used all kinds of different methods at this point. At one point, they actually wrote a computer program. And this computer program, you had to be able to run. And once you got this computer program running, then you just watch your computer reset over and over and over again. Joe Fox, what's up, buddy? I know it's been a couple weeks, but here we are. Good to see you. So you run this computer system over and over and over again, and you pick up and there's a bunch of numbers and stuff that you got to put together, and ultimately you go through the whole system again, and you find another, and it comes to an end, and they've picked up a couple, 2 or 3 more people. And at one point, they made it almost impossible to share this information, because that is what a lot of people were doing. They were making this like a community effort. They were saying, all right, here's what I got. What do you guys got? So they encrypted everything to the point to where you were on your own. Like there was no way to do it. So now whatever camaraderie you have with your buddies that were figuring this out, now you're done. You're on your own. So now you have to make another level of commitment. Do you want to make this commitment by yourself? Now you got to travel by yourself. You got to do all these things. Well, you don't necessarily have to do it by yourself, but you have to be able, they watch, and they put messages out, and they go, there was a couple different messages saying, you're on your own. Anybody that is caught, we're watching you. Anybody that's caught sharing information or anything like that will be removed. And they were very, very particular about getting a message out that they weren't doing anything illegal. They despise people doing anything illegal. And if you were doing anything illegal, to stop immediately, and basically don't bring down their good name, if you will. And they were very clear about that, and they were also very clear about what the whole thing behind this was. They wanted to find like-minded people that believed in equality, believed in human rights, believed in all the social issues that are important to a lot of people. So that's what this is about. The whole thing was about finding these smart, intelligent people, and really, building a coalition of people that could write computer code and all kinds of this nonsense stuff that which was fun in a game. And here's the mistake I think they made. Now I could be totally wrong, and they could have figured everything out. But 2016 was the last time that they got a message, that they sent a message out. So one of two things happened. Either they got all the people they needed and they were done, or people started dropping out and saying, listen, I just wanted to play the game, and now I'm done. I don't want to go to work. I don't want you to I didn't sign up to go to work. You know what I mean? So and I think that's a lot of what happened was people were just, a lot of nerds that sat home and played these and did these puzzles and figured them out. And that's all they wanted to do. They just wanted to do these puzzles. And you know what, Joe, you might be right. It might be CIA. I thought about that when I was read about this a long time ago. So these people, if you're working for the CIA, sometimes you just got to disappear, right? Sometimes you got to either be dead or, not really be dead, but make people think you're dead. And you just disappear one day. And I was thinking if I could do that. Like, could you just walk away from all your friends, all your family, except maybe your immediate family? Let's say your immediate family, they know what you're doing and they know that you're alive. I'm talking your wife, your kids, and that's it. Brothers, sisters think you're gone. Mother thinks you're gone. Father thinks you're gone. Just immediate family. And if you don't have a wife or kids, you're on your own. You have to walk away from everybody that you know and have ever known, and you can never contact them again. Could you do that? And I like to think I probably could. I'm not that stuck on a lot of people, bro. You know what I'm saying? I'm probably okay by walking away. I mean, I have my daughter, and as long as she knows that I'm good, that's really all that matters. But could you do that? Could you walk away? And there's a lot of companies, Google, Microsoft, the government, they have all done these type of things. They put these codes out and ciphers and stuff like that. And it was really about finding the best of the best. And they wanted the best computer programmers. They wanted the best computer, problem solvers. They wanted people that were like-minded, they needed people that, listen, computer programmers are typically introverts. They sit behind a desk. They do the computer programming. Maybe they have a few friends here and there, and that's it. Hey, listen, man. Listen. You're probably not that far off. CIA probably knows everything about you, so. But and I think what they learned was the same thing that Cicada probably learned. And I think Cicada learned this because of what Microsoft learned. They learned that people wanted to play the game, and that was it. They didn't want to do your bullshit. They didn't want to go to work. They weren't looking for a job. They were looking for a way to kill their time because they're nerds in a basement or whatever the case may be. I think the idea is great. I think the idea is really cool. I would love to do something like that. I don't have the computer knowledge to listen. I can barely get this fucking podcast up, but I certainly don't have the knowledge to figure out, writing code and stuff. But these people did, and they did it for nothing. They did it because they were bored and they just wanted to have a little bit of fun. And I think that Cicada and Microsoft and Google and all those big companies, I think they were very surprised by the end result when a lot of those people said, I don't want to do any of this stuff. I just wanted to have fun and I didn't want to get involved in your nonsense. Joe, I gotta tell you, I gotta tell them about your story. So me and Tyler, I think I'm done with Cicada. Check it out. Check out the story. It's a crazy story. There's a lot. If you look into it, there's a really good podcast called The Y Files, and they dig deep into it, like all the messages and everything about it, and it's really, really wild, and it's very cool. I mean, if you're into that type of stuff, it's super cool to hear about and learn about. So it's called The Y Files. Check it out. It's really, really cool. But we're going to change subjects because I got to talk to Joe here. So Tursky, right? You're in upstate New York, and Marlboro. I did a lot of research on the area, and I talked to you about it also, but like all the Indian burial grounds and all the craziness that happens there. So me and Tyler are going to go up there for a weekend, and we're going to go into the woods. And if something happens, it's Joe's fault. It's 100% Joe's fault. He did it. I don't know what happened. I don't know. He probably didn't do it, but he led me there, so he did it somehow or another. It's his fault. Bastard. Where's that? All right. So we're gonna go up to New York, and Joe, I'm just gonna. It was kind of my idea. Joe, I'm gonna tell him about the time you were in the woods and what got me started on this. What got me started on this little adventure was, Joe and some of his buddies were in the woods, and correct me if I get any of this shit wrong, and I probably will. But they came across what was like, I don't know how you explain it. I guess like a altar almost in the woods, kind of, sort of. And this was like, and I guess in the middle of the day, and it got really dark outside, and they got kind of lost in the woods. And these are guys that know the woods pretty well, so it's just a whole creepy thing that happens in the woods. And I want to go to the woods to see if it happens to me, because that would be wild. And then there's a place called Quimby Farm. It's a 200-year-old farm. It's in the Hudson Valley region of New York. I did a bunch of reading on this place. Built on like Indian burial grounds. The whole idea of Indian burial grounds to me is fucking insane, because part of me wants to believe, okay, well, how much can that affect anything? You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. But then part of me is like, I don't want to test it. I don't know what kind of influence the Indian burial grounds might have on me, but I don't know that I want to test, but I kind of want to test it, because I kind of want to see what happens. So that's what we're going to do. We're going out there, and we're going to get lost in the woods probably, and maybe they'll find our bodies. I don't know, maybe not. I'm going to take some chicken bones or whatever else you're supposed to take with you, and have some seances, and I don't know. We'll do some peyote or something in the woods. We'll see what happens, and we're going to live stream the shit out of it. So if you're into that kind of stuff, you're going to want to check that out. Yeah. I know you were telling me about a car fire that was up there by the Quimby Farm, and like there's like meth heads and stuff up there that just burn shit and cars, and that whole thing's weird too. But I don't know. I'm actually scared. You know what, man? Like, if everything happens like the exact way that you explained it to me, I would be fucking scared too. So that's why I want to see it, because you'll never understand. It's the same thing with like, paranormal stuff and UFOs and all that stuff. And we talk about all that stuff in this podcast, but you never know what it's like until it happens to you. You never know. I don't back. Oh, we're going back, Joe. It's happening. But Tom has been on our show many times, and he has the Beyond the Radar podcast, and he talks about paranormal stuff and witnessing them for yourselves, and how it changes everything. It changes your whole outlook on things, because he wasn't really a believer, I think, at first, and then something happened and he then became a believer. So that's kind of what I'm looking for. Like, I want to believe in all that shit, because I'm a maniac. And I think, and I don't know because it's never happened to me, but I think that once it does happen, if it does happen, I will be all in to like just keep doing it, because I'm a fucking lunatic. And I think that's what needs to happen. So I don't know. Hopefully we get some crazy stuff, and we get some stuff caught on video. And because middle of the day in August. So the middle of the day in August, we needed the lights on the quad to find your way out. That's fucking crazy, bro. Like, and I get it. Like, if you're in the middle of like thick woods, you can kind of be, darker on the inside of there. But to need lights on your 4-wheeler to get out, you're fucking, that's dark. I mean, that's night. You know what I'm saying? So that's gonna be wild. We can't go when it's cold though, because I don't do cold weather very well, especially if I got to sleep out in out in the elements. I'm not built for that, Joe. But we're gonna do it. I want to. I need James to come on. I want to tell this story. It's a really funny story. I'm gonna save it for next time. Have you heard about the wolves that they're putting in Colorado? Yeah, Joe, you sent me that video. I saw that video. That video is fucking wild. And the one that I heard, Joe sent me a video of like I'm assuming it was a wolf or something that was crossing his yard at like 800 miles an hour. I mean, this thing was gone, bro. It was fucking gone. And then there's a video of like you hear like some kind of voice or something coming out from under the. It sounded to me like it said Michael coming from under, like I guess it was coming from under the deck or something. But he sent me the video, and the video is fucking crazy. And like that's the kind of shit that I want to see. And that whole area up there is, I don't think it's not like heavily populated, right? Like it's pretty backwoodsish, right? I mean, it's pretty, like it's not a big city, you know what I mean? Like it ain't New York City, it's upstate New York. So it's not like there's people everywhere. At least that's the impression that I get. I kind of Googled it a little bit. It looks like a small town, like a typical small town that you'd see. But it looks cool. And hopefully I get attacked by a Indian burial ground or something. I don't know. I think it'd be pretty wild. I'm not gonna tempt fate by like doing like Indian chants and stuff, because I know I'll screw it up and I'll piss off one of the dead people, and it'll be like a hex on my family or something. I just assume that's how it works. I don't know. I'm not really a hex guy, but I assume that's how it works. Is it like witchcraft? I don't know if it's like witchcraft or not, but I just want to talk to an Indian, like a real Native American. That I watch a lot of stuff on like Skinwalker Ranch and stuff. Not doing that shit. Come on, Joe. We'll be fine. It's the worst that could happen. Get the fuck out of there. Oh man, I think we got to do it, Joe. I'll bring like an Indian headset feather things and all that stuff. We'll just insult everybody that's dead there, and it'll be terrible. All right, I won't do that. I won't tempt it that much. It'd be funny though. I watch a lot. So anyway, I watch a lot of Skinwalker Ranch stuff, and they have a lot of Indians. Obviously, I could grab. That would be fucking hilarious. I'm getting that on video. I'm so getting that on video. So I always watch these Native American interviews and stuff, and a lot of this stuff is passed down from like family to family to family to family for generations. Aliens, Bigfoot, skinwalkers, all that stuff. So these people believe, like they have like a deep belief in these things. And I mean, it's not a belief. They know, like there's no question to them that these things are real. Even if they've never seen one, like they know someone in their family that has seen one. And it's real to them. Like, I mean, it is real to them. And they are believable. Like you don't get the sense that, oh, this guy's full of shit. Like, no, these, they're family stories that go back generations. So when I always hear about like Indian burial grounds and stuff, I think about that. Like these people they have some serious like stuff going on with the dead and skinwalkers and Bigfoot. Like they're the real deal, man. They wholeheartedly believe. I don't know if you read about the wolves that they're letting go in Colorado, but listen to this shit. This made me so angry. So back in like, I don't know when it was, a couple years ago, they came up with this idea to release wolves in Colorado to kind of by like in the Aspen area and stuff, by like the ski resorts, to reintroduce the wolf, which had been pretty much eliminated in that area for a long time. So they're going up to British Columbia and they're getting these wolves. These are real wolves, bro. I mean, real wolves. They're huge. They eat everything. There's no question about it. They just eat. They're wolves. Like, they are apex predators. And you're releasing them into Colorado by these ski resorts and stuff. And it doesn't make any goddamn sense, for one. Like, there's elk and stuff in the area and like some bigger animals that for generations have been removed from wolves. Like, they have no natural instinct. Like, oh, there's a wolf, I'm going to go away. Like, so they're killing all the big animals. They're killing all the elk and all the other animals up there because there's nothing that can stop it. I mean, it's a fucking monster that these hippies are releasing up there because, they feel like, oh, I don't know. I don't even understand the logic behind it. Like, we want to reintegrate them into the area because that's where they belonged, or that's where they were, they've been there for years, which was fine, decades ago when it was woods and there was nothing around. But now you have all these people moving into the area, big ski resorts, and, a lot of these, big companies are like, doing ski resorts and stuff up there. And thousands of people go up there every year to ski and to vacation. And you're releasing these apex predators into the area. And they're just like, all right, cool, have fun. I'm like, are you out of your fucking mind? And it's these fucking tree huggers, bro. That's what it is. They release these wolves in this area. It makes me fucking nuts. It makes me crazy to think about. Like, you don't care about clearing a forest out from like forest fires and stuff, to make forest fires less prevalent. Like, you're not allowed to do any of that shit. And now you can release wolves wherever the fuck you want. And these aren't like, these aren't like city wolves, bro. These are British Columbia monsters. I mean, just monster fucking wolves that they're releasing into this area. And there's no regard for nothing. They don't give a fuck. And, and it's all these PETA hippies and shit. I mean, it's just the hippies, bro. I try not to, listen, I try not to be like that, but this pisses me off. Like, it's crazy to me. These things are apex predators you're releasing. They have no breeding. A lot of them haven't even seen people. The first time they ever see a person is when you trap it. They don't know. They're just on a hunt. They hunt all day. That's what they do. They just hunt. And then they pack up. And now there's multiple monsters together just hunting. Like, it's not, and they're smart. And they're super smart. And they're dangerous. And, it's wild to think that you could do it. Oh, I gotta read this. I was talking to one of my cop friends in that area. They have been getting calls to this lady's house up in the mountains. Lady said there's somebody is trying to break in. They get there, no one's around, but found smudge marks on the window and doors, 0 footprints around. That's fucking retarded, bro. You just gave me chills reading that. So the lady's just at home chilling, and somebody's trying to break into her house. She calls the cops. They get there. There's no footprints anywhere, and there's just smudge prints on the doors. Yeah, I'd fucking move. I'd move and buy a big gun, or buy a big gun and then move. I don't know. I would do. I would set up like one of the turret guns on my back porch and just fucking mow people down. That's wild, bro. But that's the kind of area it is. That's why I want to go, because I want to see that. And it knocks on the doors and windows. It's fucking crazy. I don't even know. Like, what do you do? I mean, I guess call the cops, but clearly they're no help. I mean, what are you gonna do? Like, there's nothing there. Yeah, you're right. How do you fight shit like that? You don't. I mean, I don't know. Can it get into the house? I don't know. The door's locked. Like, what? Is It doesn't need feet apparently. So how the fuck, what else can it do? And what's the point of it? Like, is it just trying to scare people? Is it trying to get in? Like, is it trying to get somebody's attention? All those things all those things you don't know, which is the most crazy thing, because not knowing is the biggest problem that you have and shit like that. Like, you don't know why what's happening is happening. Maybe they need to be invited in. Maybe, I don't know. Is it a vampire? Don't you have to invite vampires in? I don't know, but what are you inviting in? I mean, is it a spirit? Is it somebody that lived on the land? You know what I mean? Like, what? You don't even know what you're inviting in. Is it a ghost? Is it a demon? Who knows? I mean, I'll invite him in, but he's gonna have to stay in a garage or something, and I'm in the house. Can you just invite him into one room? All right, it's cool if you come in, but you got to stay in the kitchen. You can't go in the living room, can't go in the dining room. You got to stay in the kitchen, but you can come in. If you're gonna kill me, you got to kill me in the kitchen. Imagine that conversation. You're just there inviting shit into your house, and your neighbor's watching through the window, just talking to yourself, inviting shit in. Like, you're definitely the fucking. You're Go check on my smoker. Yeah, if you're gonna be in the backyard, bro, tend to my fucking brisket back there. You know what I'm saying? Like, stoke the fire or something. It's the same problem I have with ghosts and stuff. Like, if you can turn my lights on and off and turn my TV on and off and shit, bitch, you can clean. Like, I don't know, do a little laundry. It's cool. I don't care if you stay. Just do something. Do some laundry. Do the dishes. Do the dishes. It's cool. I'll leave the TV on for you. I'll have a haunted house. I don't care. Just don't fuck with me. Like, I'm trying to sleep. Like, be considerate. I'm a good roommate. It's cool. I keep to myself. We don't have to be at odds with each other. Oh man. I don't know, Joe. That's gonna be a good time. We gotta do it. I'm gonna get some attached to me and bring it home. I was reading a thing about Skinwalker Ranch. Like, everybody that goes there, they pick up my socks. You ain't doing shit all day. For real, bro. I hate doing laundry too. Like, that's one thing I need a ghost for. Everybody wants these new robots and stuff. Like, oh, I'm gonna give me a robot. No, dude, I just need a ghost. You don't have to charge it. You don't have to do shit. Like, I'm gonna buy a Ouija board, and I'm gonna buy a Ouija board and invite cleaning ghosts of maids and stuff to come into my house and clean my house. Like, that's probably fucked up to say, but I think that's a good thing to do. Invite a bunch of maids. I want a maid for every room in my house, and I don't care what you do all day. Just by the time I get home, have the house clean, and then you can do whatever you want. Go wherever you go. I don't know where ghosts go when they're done doing whatever their ghost stuff, but whatever it is, you can go and do that, and that's cool. Like, I'll give you a place to stay. You've been grabbed by a dick and thrown into a tree. I feel like you might have been grabbed by the dick and thrown into a tree, Joe. Like, I can't prove it, but I feel like that's happened to you. Only because that's the second time you said it. I'm kind of scared of the robot uprising, bro. I think I'm more scared about that than having ghosts. Because robots are real. And you can't really, if a robot wants to grab you by the dick and throw you into a tree, it's going to grab you by the dick and throw you. Ain't much you can do about it. Unless you can get to his battery and unplug it. Other than that, you're getting your dick grabbed and thrown into a tree. That's true. You did hang out with us for a while. In fairness, I never grabbed you by the dick and threw you into a tree. Although, if I knew that was an option, that might have happened. There were some fucked up nights. Man, I don't know. New York's the way to go. We're going to New York and we're gonna see what happens. Hope I get back. John definitely may have. John, yeah, John probably would have. He definitely would have. The guy, he's nuts. He definitely would. Oh man. I'm just thinking about that. Like you're washing dishes on your back porch, or like in your kitchen, and all of a sudden you hear somebody trying to get in your house, and you go back there and there's nobody there, and you probably don't have a lot of neighbors. You know what I mean? Like you're kind of in a remote area. Like you know, obviously, like the first answer is like, "Fuck that, go grab my gun." But if there ain't nothing to shoot, what are you gonna do with the gun? You know what I mean? Like shoot yourself. Like, I feel like that's gonna happen before anything else happens. Like I'm just gonna shoot myself and be like, I'm out. Fuck this. You know what I mean? Like, what are you gonna shoot? You're not gonna. I don't know. I don't get it. You're gonna shoot a ghost? Fuck, you gonna do that? Don't make any sense. I don't know. I'm gonna buy a Ouija board though. Oh, dude, we can take a Ouija board out to the woods with us. That's what I'm saying, bro. Like you can't see some of these houses in this area from the road. Like some of these houses are on, chunks of land. Like I don't know. It's probably it's probably scary enough just to be out there in normal conditions. Because everybody's a tough guy when you're in a city. When you get out in the middle of fucking nowhere, you're like, all right, I get it. Maybe. I don't know. I'm doing it though. I'm not gonna bitch out. You just find me in the woods crying, like disappear in the middle of the night, and I'm wrapped around a tree crying in the fetal position because I'm scared. I mean, I'm not too afraid to cry if I get in a situation that it calls for. You gotta pull me out on a 4-wheeler. I get off the back of the 4-wheeler. Your shirt's just covered in tears and snot because I was crying the whole time. Oh, that's gonna be a good time. I kind of can't wait. It'll be a good time. So what do the cops do when they go there and they see like, all right, well, there's obviously shit in the glass, but what do you do? Like as a cop, you're a firefighter. Like what do you do when you get to these situations like that? Like the fuck can you do? Nothing. Hope that it goes away and wait for the sun to come up. It's a big change of pants. Oh, it's like Dumb and Dumber where they're on the back of the moped and he's like, I gotta pee. Just go, man. He pees on his back. Is that what it's gonna be like? It's so warm. Yeah, leave, right? Like, what are you gonna do? Like, don't you feel like a dick though? Like, obviously something happened to this woman and she's terrified and scared, and you're supposed to be like a cop or whatever. That like, wouldn't you feel like okay, well, I mean, like I get it. What are you gonna do? But at the same time, as like a cop, I'd be like, well, if I kind of feel like, I should do something. I don't know. That'd be a tough situation to be in. Just as a cop, thinking about it like that would be a tough situation to be in. Because you feel bad, right? Like, I mean, you have to feel bad at some point. Be like, oh, well, this is terrible. Pretend nothing happened. Just going about your day and hope that this lady's not filleted in the morning when you read the paper or I can go into work. Hope there's not like pieces of her spread all over the yard. Like, I sure hope she made it through the night, because I don't know. Tough job, man. As a cop, that's got to be a tough job because, well, if you're a good cop, you have to think to yourself like, all right, I'm here to serve and protect, but obviously there's no way to protect against shit like that, right? So she's got a gun. Well, again, like, who are you going to shoot? You better hope it's the person, and that way you can shoot them. If it's some entity, you shoot away. He's going to shake it off. I don't know. That's a tough one. So I couldn't be a cop, I don't think. Not that I would be scared of like being shot or something like that. You're just put in crazy fucking situations. Even a firefighter, like, I don't know, like just any kind of first responder, and that's why people are like, "Thank you," because I don't want to do it. So I get it. Like, I don't want to do it. Yeah, if it's a person, you shoot. If it ain't, well, yeah, exactly. If it's a person, you shoot it. I agree. The problem is that when it becomes not a person, or you think it's a person and you shoot it and it keeps coming, and you're like, well, fuck. What do you do then? I think you just, I don't know, ball up and cry, and I don't know. But I mean, if it can't come in your house unless it's invited, I guess you're all right. Maybe for a minute. But then you can't go outside again. Like, you're relegated to your house, because I ain't fucking going outside. See, we're gonna be fucked because we're gonna be in the woods. Like, there is no outside. It's just us and the elements. I mean, I guess I could stay in a tent and be like, I don't know, Joe, go check it out. I hear something, Joe. You're up. Go get it, buddy. That's what's gonna happen. Tyler's gonna be under a blanket and pillow, fucking hiding. That's definitely gonna happen. I mean, listen, I'm not above shooting people if I have to, as long as it's a person it has some effect. You know what I mean? Nothing worse than shooting somebody and it has no effect. What happens if you get a ghost that's like on meth? Like, what do you get all kinds of problems then. I think there's ghosts that are drug addicts. I mean, people die that are drug addicts, right? Maybe when they cross over or don't cross over, they're stuck here. Maybe they're still fiending. I don't know. I'm not gonna Ouija board that guy in. I'm just trying to get my bathroom clean, dog. I ain't trying to, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't need those kind of problems in my life. I'm just trying to save a Saturday. That's all. Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, the Indians were into all that shit, like peyote and all kinds of these spirit. They were super spiritual. You know what I mean? Like, they have such a connection to like their ancestors and spirits and all that stuff. And even if you don't believe like on the level that they believe, they make you believe. You know what I'm saying? Like, you never watched a Native American talking about like ancestors or spirits and stuff like that, and you're like, nah, that guy's full of shit. Like, I don't know why that is, but for me, like, I've never seen one and that was like, oh man, that guy's full of shit. Like, I believe all of them. They're very credible people, apparently. Ask them first how you met them. In that area, it sounds like you need to ask. Like, you messed up, or what's going on here? I don't think. I'm telling you, dude. Like, when you just watch like the Skinwalker Ranch or something, something that has to do with either like cryptids or Bigfoot or anything like that has like the people in Alaska, like the Inuits and stuff like that. Like, these people fucking believe, man. Like, believe in ways that I don't have that kind of commitment, bro. That's a great show. I know that show. I want to go to Alaska. I think Alaska is going to be the place where I finally meet my end, I think. I'm just too excited about going there. And me and Tyler have talked about it for a while. And just get like an Airbnb, because I looked at like Airbnbs and stuff, and they have Airbnbs in the middle of fucking nowhere, bro. Like, I mean, you're 45 minutes from electricity, and you can rent the cabins in places like that. And I mean, you don't have. It's the best place if you're like looking for aliens and stuff, or just Skywatch in general, because there's no light pollution. You're miles away from any kind of noise that isn't natural. You know what I mean? Whether it's birds and bears and all kinds of other animals, traipsing through the woods and stuff. But that's why I want to do it. I mean, I'll probably get mauled by a bear, and that's a terrible way to go, I assume. But I'm just getting the Appalachian Mountains too, man. I'll tell you a quick story. When my grandparents were alive, in the summer times they would go to North Carolina, and they would go to Boone and Banner Oak, which is like northwest North Carolina, but it was way up in the mountains. And my grandfather did construction, so we always had like a house that he was redoing. And every couple of years, they would sell it and buy another house that needed work, and he would fix it up over the next couple of summers. And that's just what he did. That's what he loved to do. And my grandmother just took care of the house and made dinner and had the grandkids up, and we all would go up there every summer and hang out, and it was great. And that's when we got like all of our outdoor time, because where we lived, we were in a city, so there was no outdoor time. But when you go to the mountains of North Carolina, there ain't a lot there, bro. Like, it's, but my grandma was old school, man. The sun was up, you were outside. Like, I mean, there's a lot of trees around there, but I don't know if they got grabbed by the dick or not. But I gotta assume if they did, that would have been terrible. I wonder if they would have told me. I don't know. Anyway, I digress. So we would go up there for the summer, and like you were just on your own, dude. Like, my grandma would be like, all right, sun's up, get out. Be back here at noon for lunch. And we'd just go out into the forest by ourselves, 10, 11, 12, whatever, and come back in a couple hours, eat lunch, and go back out until dinner time. And that's what we did all summer, man. And it was the greatest times of my life, man. I was hanging out with my cousins, and, every summer we would go up there, but it's a different world up there. And there's some parts of like Appalachia that are sketchy. Like, I mean, sketchy. Like, these people haven't left their shack in the woods in like 5 years. There was a show, I think it was on Netflix, about a family in Kentucky where the whole family lived in like a shack in the woods, and they never went to town. Like, everything they did, they lived off the grid and they lived off the land. And one of the kids was like starting a ruckus because he wanted to go to college, and like he would go to school, and he wanted to go to school, and everybody's like, "Oh, you fucking can't go to school. Like, this is, we're with people. Like, you don't do school." But this kid wanted to go to school, so he would walk down the bus stop barefooted, you know what I mean, and like get on a bus and go to school, and everybody fucking hated him for it because he was, and then he turned out to be kind of intelligent, at least, comparatively speaking. And went to college and all kinds of stuff. But the whole show was about these people that just, I mean, I don't know if they were inbred. I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of people that are up that way. Like, the hill people. I mean, they keep it in the family, bro. They like, I mean, it's great. For divorce. Oh, my goddamn, you just grab my dick and for divorce. Yeah, see, that's the problem. That's when you need a divorce for sure. Oh man, fucking lunatic! I can't wait to get up there. That's gonna be a good time. So anyway, stay out of the hills of Kentucky. I don't know what to tell you. It's sketchy up there. You gotta be careful. I just lost all of Kentucky that was listening to our podcast, but that's all right. The people up in the mountains, they don't listen to podcasts. It's cool. Couldn't have insulted them that bad, right? Maybe one of their family members. But listen, if you live in the mountains of Kentucky, you're probably not talking to your family members anyway. Unless they live there. And if they live there, they're not listening to the podcast either. So you're cool. Oh, man. All right, boys, we got to wrap it up. It's 8 o'clock. We are done. I am done. Usually it's we, but Tyler's on some sort of vacation. I don't know. We'll do this again next week, 7 o'clock. Fucking mountain people. Goddamn right. Oh, I got to do a podcast just on mountain people. I bet I could. I love mountain people. I love talking about them anyway. I don't know. I don't know if I want to partake in that type of behavior, but I love fucking talking about them. All right, boys, I'm out of here. Joe, thanks a lot. Joe Fox, thanks a lot. John Knight, I know you're out there somewhere listening. I will see you guys next week, 7 o'clock. Be here. Be Square, Oracle Talk Radio Network. He's grabbing a dick and throwing it into a tree. Can you grab your own dick and throw yourself into a tree? I don't know. I gotta get out of here before this gets any worse. See you guys next week. Later.